Hi, this is John Stanley. It's the John Stanley the Retail Guru presenting the newest of the new. In January I had the opportunity to go to Barton Grange Garden Centre. Barton Grange Garden Centre is just outside of Preston in Lancashire. It's one of the newest garden centres in the UK. It opened in the spring of 2009 and the International Garden Centre Group went there in the autumn or fall and raved about the experience. And I can understand why when you look around this establishment. What I like about it, it attracts all ages and demographic mix. This is a garden centre for everyone. I do love the entrance. You get to this entrance, you get these terracotta containers twisted round to create an archway. At the same time, they've used these sculpture trees to give this sort of futuristic look to the business. I'd love to try and get some terracotta pots and try and do this in my own garden. I think it's a very attractive element. Now, Barton Grange was started by Eddie Topping, and Eddie's there to meet every customer that walks through the door. So there's Eddie, ready to meet the customers, a nice family touch to the business. When you go into the transition zone, what you see is the floral department. Over the top floral displays really create a right image as far as the consumer's concerned. Then you go into the transition zone, which is the indoor living as the first category. And I love this sort of metal dome where people can then browse through the area, which makes it very easy and simple for colour theming. They can mix the containers and the plants, and they've worked with Shurik and they've done an excellent job in trying to bring the harmony of indoor living together in this department. And it's not just about the home. Plants for your place of work. And there's an area that suggests plants you can use in the office, and Barton Grange Landscapes are there to provide a service for you. The garden care and the living care departments are often badly merchandised. This is the way Toppings of Barton Grange have put it together. I love the way they've created this very simple but very highly effective garden care department just for indoor living plants. It's been so simple and so effective, but for me it's one of the best areas I've seen in a long time in trying to get this across. It's easy to shop, it helps the customer, it's very specific. I think this was, for me, was one of the highlights of going there. And of course, it's for everybody. Gardening these days is from fork to fork, garden fork to table fork. In between, why not have cooking utensils? So what we've got now is the complete package as far as the consumer is concerned, of fork to fork. And then it's a high-tech business. What we've got then is the cash out registers in the cooking department. And again, high-tech front, but whimsical backdrop to them. So we don't get this messy checkout area that you get in many garden centres. Nice, clean, professional, but a bit whimsical and a bit fun from that point of view. Country living, country kitchen, country living is a big issue. So what we've got is the indoor living decorations once you've gone through the living plant area. And they were having a sale. Now, I'm not a great fan of sales, but I did love the way they put this sale together. It was bold, it was brash, it was very obvious to the consumer what they were doing, and there were bulk offers. This was a true Barton Grange sale. Then you get into the other areas of the garden centre, the areas that are often badly merchandised. This growing centre, which is one of the Stewart's promotions, very nicely placed in the seed department. And again, look how professional the area is in display. Look at the way they've created the theatre above the merchandising. This is what retailers should be doing, is creating the theatre above the merchandising. This works very, very effectively. And of course, these days you've got to have the restaurant, you've got to have the coffee shop. They've got the Riverside Cafe and the Willows restaurant built into the business. Look at the way they've used pebbles to get an image across in the restaurant and coffee shop. Keeps that natural look in the business. It goes up the walls as well as onto the floor. So although it's fairly standard merchandising within a coffee restaurant department, this pebble look has really created a point of difference when you walk through the different areas. So I enjoyed looking at this coffee shop, one of the best coffee shops that I've seen. And look, when you walk in, the special offer, main course with hot dessert, £10.95. So they're really into good marketing in this department. Now, I was there in January, probably one of the worst months to look at the plant area. But again, we've got this plant area that's mainly undercover, which allows for winter shopping. There wasn't much colour there when I walked around the department, and I'd like to look at it in spring. I think in spring it's going to be a real major attraction. But they've put these false rooms into the plant centre to create these living rooms that the team can play with. But let's go back inside, because as I said, it was January. And again, we've got these little theatre areas above the garden tools, just to create that instant reminder of what you can do with the journey. And don't forget to feed the birds this winter. Or a lovely simple display, just using a blackboard to create the backdrop, a prop, and then a few boxes just to create that uplifting end cap. Very, very effective end cap. Gift cards are on an end cap, and often we don't think of putting gift cards on an end cap. But Barton Grange, just before you leave, we've got these gift card end caps, which work again as something different. It really puts that image across that what business they're in. And isn't this a nice touch? Taking boxes and just decorating the backs. So they've taken the box and decorated the back. No expense for a lovely bit of theatre. And let's look at the major checkout area. Again, we've got some artwork on the checkout area. Clean, efficient, supermarket style, but that's what we need when we get to this area. But toppings, treats. How about a sweet shop in your garden centre? I thought Toppings Treats was a lovely bit of theatre. One of the best parts of the journey, and probably one of the most memorable parts as far as the consumer is concerned. And the opposite side to Topping Treats was the farmer's shop. Lovely cart being decorated as you walk into the farmer's market. Again, that theatre display is put up there to create that rustic feel. But again, a nice professional finish to the journey. Barton Grange, our roots are in Lancashire, back to that home local message. And again, some of the team pictures, some of the farmers they're getting produce from, very much a Lancashire feel as you left the business. Loved James Buck. I love the way they're promoting him as Blackpool's tomato grower. Need to do a lot more of this type of marketing. They're promoting the fact that it's a green garden centre, an environmental garden centre, so a bit of science as you leave the business. And opposite that, again, a mural with just some props plastered into the wall. It's the simple stuff that makes people remember. They've got a cook shop with a cooking department. So we've got the lifestyle shops. We've got grow your own vegetables as part of the journey. But why did I want to go there? Because the amount of people that talk to me about the Barton Grange toilets, where you water the flowers. Now, I was only allowed to walk into the gents' toilets because Guy and Eddie weren't around when I were there. But this is the entrance to the toilets. Let's have a sneak preview at the men's toilets. You can water the flowers. Urinals with a difference. If you're going to be memorable in the toilets. The wash basins are stone wash basins. But it's the toilets you're going to remember. They have a promotion about watering the flowers. They've got postcards on their toilets. So think about it. I watered the flowers at Barton Grange. That's part of the theatre. It's part of the Blackpool humour. Part of that postcard humour that the area is famous for. What a business. Ladies' retail therapy days and a bubble cruise. You can take a barge and have tai chi, champagne and go on the canal and come back to the garden centre. Well, that's my journey around Barton Grange. What an experience. Well done to Eddie, Guy and the team. Your action plan? Even the toilets create a lasting impression. Think about the customer's total experience. Build on your brand. This is John Stanley, the Retail Guru. Thank you for walking around Barton Grange, and thank you for Barton Grange for allowing me to walk around with the camera. If you're going to be in Lancashire, don't just go to Blackpool. Go to Barton Grange Garden Centre. It's just off the motorway. Thanks a lot.